You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only speak about items affecting the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, Mat Koenig, Rockstar Designs. Easy for me to say. It's early Sunday morning. If you're listening to us right now, as we record, it's Wednesday morning, but I feel like maybe it should be Sunday morning. Welcome, Matt. Glad to have you with us.
Thanks, Ron. I'm excited to be on the show. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you with us. Let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio, even when it is early Sunday morning if you are listening to us on the radio. Today is National Croissant Day. Okay, having beaten anorexia, so my idea, we gotta. That's a good picture, Josh. But I think the ones that you get at some of the bakeries that have chocolate in the inside and they drizzle chocolate along the top. I'm just gonna say that would probably be my preference. But then again, not everybody's a chocoholic like I am. Hey, let's move right along and see what else we've got going on in the world. Interest rates, mortgages, that's obviously something that we talk about a lot on Ron Siegel Radio. Have you been watching what's going on in the mortgage market lately? Now, again, as I mentioned, we record on Wednesdays, but every Thursday, which obviously we record on Wednesday, the broadcast goes out live to our radio partners Sunday morning. But as of the 13th of January, Freddie Mac home loan rates were at 3.45%. Let's go back to the end of last year. December 30th, 2021. Do you remember? There was a show about that, I think. But December 30th, 2021, 3.11 was the 30-year fixed rate loan from Freddie Mac. January 20th, 3.56. Now, old people like me, we look at it and say, that's not such a big deal, right? I mean, I've got my first house. I'm older than our whole team here, right? I got my first house in 1984. And I think I know, Matt, I know. Josh usually tells me about how old I am. Okay, 18% was my interest rate. 18%. So those that are looking at a 3.56, and it's even higher as we chat right now, think about 18%. Ow! Yeah, that was painful back then. And we were glad to get it. Right now, you're just glad to get your offer accepted. But hey, you know something? It's one of the areas I just had a conversation with a real estate professional, not more than 10 minutes ago, maybe 15 minutes ago. And our conversation was about local expertise. And I'm going to share with you my conversation. So this agent had somebody that they helped buy a house in La Habra, California. Now, if you're not in the area, you may not know La Habra is, it's one of the suburbs of Los Angeles County. And they were selling their house in Corona. Now, Corona's probably 25 or 30 minutes away, 25, maybe 20 miles from La Habra, maybe 20 miles. Now, Matt, I know that you're over there in Tennessee. 20 miles going from Corona to La Habra on a Friday afternoon, that's about a 2-hour drive. 2 hours, right? And we're in California where we're paying over $4.60 a gallon of gasoline. But that's a different story. 2 hours. But the comment that came up was, how do you help? How can you be the local expert in both areas? And my comment was very simple. What do you need an expert for? Well, you need an expert in real estate. What you're really needing an expert for, not to show you the pictures of the house, that's on the internet. So it doesn't matter if you're in Walla Walla, Washington, or Kalamazoo, right? I mean, wasn't that what Vin Scully used to say? I mean, I think that was his line.
That's my
Doesn't matter
hometown.
where you're at. Say that again?
Kalamazoo's my hometown, Kalamazoo, Michigan. So that's actually great to hear that quote.
There you go. So it doesn't matter where you are to show pictures of a property. Almost anybody can unlock the door to the property. Squatters, real estate agents. I shouldn't say the squatter part. That's not good, right? But the real estate agents, right? They've got the access professionals to show you the property. So it doesn't take a whole lot of expertise to show you the property, and the agent's not going to help you understand, do you like it or don't you like it? What do you need the expert guidance for? Negotiating, right? Getting you from the point of what do we want to offer on this property, completing the contract properly, which most people don't do, most agents don't do, negotiating the contract with the sellers or the buyers, whichever side you're not, and getting to the closing on time and in the most profitable manner possible, or achieving your goals. It doesn't have to necessarily be the most profitable as long as you're getting your goals met, right? Because I know a lot of people that are buying at way over asking prices right now because it's their property, it's their goal. They want property X. They want to live there. They want their family to be there. Whatever the reason is, that's what they want. So they're bidding what they need to accomplish their goal. Price is not always the number one reason of the goal. What do you need the agent for? Negotiations. Now, does it matter if you're in La Habra or Corona to negotiate? Not really, right? You just need somebody that's an expert. That's the concept. That's what we're trying to share with you on Ron Siegel Radio, is you're always looking for expert guidance. I'm a marketer. I love marketing. Now, I'm going to share this with you, and I know it's football season, and I don't know who your favorite team is, Rams, but I'm going to just throw this out there. Who do you think makes more money? Now, do you know any State Farm insurance agents? I know a few. Do you know any insurance agents at all? You probably have auto insurance or house insurance. Who makes more money? Do you think Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes makes more money than the insurance agent that sells that insurance policy? Or does the insurance agent make more money than Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers? I think that's a no-brainer, right? I think that those two professionals. Now, do you think Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes knows anything about insurance? My guess is they probably don't. They might be experts, but my guess is that they don't. They are experts in what they do. But we listen to them because they've got a perceived value. Think about that concept. We're going to talk today about marketing. Marketers make a lot more money than salespeople, but they have to have the right guidance. They have to know what they're doing. They have to be educated. They have to realize that, something, and I get these. You may get these also, because I still do have a fax machine that is attached to my computer. I don't have a standalone fax anymore. Josh is looking over there. What's a fax machine? Right? But I still have one that goes into our computers, right? Josh manages that, so he knows. right? But it goes into our computers. I still get advertisements by fax. Do you think I look at any of them? I say, oh, advertisement, fax, block number. It's really pretty simple. I don't even pay attention to what it is. I don't care. But they're looking at they're spending money on that. How much money are they spending on those? Now, I know. I also have a rich uncle that's over in India, and they send out these emails to me, and I ignore that one too. Oh, I ignore email too. Do you ignore email? Maybe the idea is I have a friend of mine, he's since passed, but he used to ask this question at all of his seminars. Does your marketing match your market? Does your marketing match your market? So if I have a market that's all walking around with cell phones, do you have a cell phone? I would bet you do. And I mean, 15 years ago, I was helping a lady and she came to me, Matt, you're going to love this one. She was having budget issues. I'm helping her with her budget. This was about 15 years ago, maybe a little bit more. Her daughter was sending out 10,000 text messages a month, chatting with her friends, just chatting with her friends. 10,000 a month in chatting with her friends. But back then, the phone companies charged you for every single text you sent. All right, so think about 10,000 messages going out at about a dime a piece. What is that costing? Now I'm a simple guy. I think that's about $1,000, right?
Yep.
That was a lot of money. So she says, I couldn't believe I got this issue. But today, texting is probably more common than it was 15 years ago. And do you look at your emails? Right? Even within my own organization, my emails I send to people that are 5 doors from me, I have to yell, hey, go look in your junk folder. I just sent you a message. Right? And it's something they're waiting for from me. Mm-hmm. Right? But if I send a text message, they answer it, they look at it instantaneously. So for me, when I send something large, I have to send an email and followed by a text message saying, hey, I just sent this to you. My marketing must match my market. Young people, first-time home buyers. I did this with a high school yesterday, right? We wanted to test out a project that we're working on. So at a local high school basketball game, we said if you'll send a text to our number, we're going to put you in a raffle for Starbucks gift cards and Yogurtland. Now, here's what I learned. In the area that this high school is, Starbucks is a lot more popular than Yogurtland. I'm just throwing that out there because I did learn that because we asked people, what do you want? So we learned that information. Now, if I want to go and offers a product, who am I going to go to? Well, I know that my market was Starbucks users. My market was not the Yogurtland people in this instance. We're going to get expert advice on this today. We're going to give you expert advice. You can incorporate this into your business. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, Mat Koenig is going to chat with us about growing your business, talking to your audience, talking to the people who want to hear from you. I might throw in some information about buyers, what they want to know, why housing supply is still low. And we've got a better outcome segment brought to you by mycdlp.com. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. Nikki is standing by to assist you. What's going on in the mortgage world? Well, interest rates are going up. Is that good or bad? Well, it is what it is. Whatever the interest rates were last week, last month, last year is irrelevant. What is important is what you want to do right now. Yes, Geneva's got a great mobile app that I highly, highly recommend. It's got their mobile, the mortgage calculator in there. It's telling you all kinds of information. You can find out information about properties when you go to rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. But understand what you want, what your goals are. Even though interest rates are up, it doesn't matter. Rental rates are up even higher. We just came out with some new numbers that I saw this week that are showing that new home sales pricing is way up on new home sales. Well, why is that happening? Because there's so much demand for it. If you're one of those people that are thinking about buying a house, when is the best time? What are you waiting for? Maybe it's for the prices to go up, or is it for interest rates to go up? You tell me, what is it that you're waiting for? Most people say, well, I would rather have the interest rates lower. Well, they are what they are today. Get in the market. If they go down 6 months from now, a year from now, you can always reduce them. But if they go up, you can't look backwards. So get a consultation. Reach out to the team. Questions at ronsiegelradio.com. Get on the calendar. Get a free consultation. Let's determine your goals. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. Mat Koenig is with us. We're chatting Rockstar Designs. Welcome, Rockstar Matt.
That's right. I love that. I love that brand. Everybody wants to be a rock star, right?
I don't know. I just look like a big rock. Actually, maybe like a boulder. I don't know. But you know, I did a lead in, Matt. I think you probably heard it, chatting about marketing, matching your market. Is that what do you think?
You know what? I love that. I was actually chatting with a guy a few weeks ago, and we were talking about advertising and things. And he said, a lot of times you got to put it out there, but you've got to look and see what the market's asking for, right? So a lot of the reasons that we fail at marketing is because we're marketing what in the way that we like and that we want, instead of looking to see what does the market want, right? And marketers have a ton of different products that they sell. But one of the biggest challenges has always been companies focusing on what they want to sell instead of what customers want to buy, and focusing on how they want to get customer information rather than how the customers want to communicate. So I think you hit it on the head, man. If you got to make sure your marketing matches your market. So I think that's solid advice.
How do you think you figure out what your market wants?
Well, I think first things first, Well, I guess it depends on what you have to offer, right? So here's the reality. If I were selling fax machines today, I'd probably get in another business because based on the lack of interest in faxing anymore, other than the people that try and send you fax ads,
Yeah.
other than those folks, nobody wants it, right? So I think that either way you figure out what the market wants is the easiest way is to look at what they're spending money on right now and then go, do I have something that fits what they want as a marketer? And the reality is, the number one way people communicate with each other is by texting. And so, for me in my business, I look and I go, we do a whole suite of things, from web development stuff to sales funnels to text marketing. And the reality is, the number one way people talk to each other, including my wife and I and my kids, is via text. So when I look at our business, I go, well, the number one place to put my focus and attention is in the number one way people communicate, and that's by texting because the consumers do it more than they do anything else, which means that's what my market wants.
So for Sunday dinner, I always tell the family, okay, no phones at the table because they might be texting each other. And I just throw that out there, right? But that's just a whole different concept right there. But you know something? I would submit, okay, there's three of us here. Josh is in the background. He's our producer. So have you ever gone out to dinner with a group of people and sent a text to somebody at the table?
I have, and I'm in my 40s. I've done that, but it's usually when others at the table are strangers and I'm texting someone that I arrived with going, hey, let's get out of this, right? Like it's time to go. You look like you're not feeling well. You know, something.
That's a good line. I might have to borrow that, Matt. Yeah. So Josh, have you, Josh? Yeah, Josh has. I have. I'm pushing 60. But but you know something, the same thing is I haven't used that line yet. Hey, Bride, I'm not feeling well. You don't look like you're feeling well either. Do we need to leave? But sometimes it's a matter of, you know, we might be at a business dinner, or usually not a business dinner, so we usually put them away then, but we're doing something and yeah, this guy is full of malarkey, right? We might not say malarkey, but you know, it's a different word.
Oh yeah.
But the bottom line is everybody's communicating by text. And
yeah, we are. I had a client that I had to reach out to him today. You know, I developed a website for them a while ago, and then we do all their hosting and everything. And this morning, you know, our team sent a message going, "Hey, someone had hacked. You know, one of the users of their website had created, you know, their access. They did something that wasn't secure, and they got hacked. And this morning, everything went down. I tried calling, couldn't get a hold of him. As soon as I texted him and said, call me, it's urgent, your site's down. As soon as I sent a text, I got a call in less than 60 seconds. So it just goes to show, I mean, people read text. Like, I think the latest stat I saw was 98% get opened within 3 minutes and 93% get read in under 2 minutes. That's insanity. But it's real.
And you know something, our team, we make a lot of phone calls every day. We're old school. We like to talk to people.
I do too.
Right. But the bottom line is you're exactly right, is the texting has so much more connectivity.
It seems
because nowadays everybody's got a mobile phone. A lot of places don't even have a landline.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if you don't recognize the phone number, you just don't answer.
Yep.
But even if you don't recognize the phone number, you look at the text.
True story. Well, you brought up email earlier, and I love that you did, because every morning when I wake up, I have nearly 200 emails that end up caught by Google in the spam filter. There are so many now. Like, I used to go through them and see, like, is there something important that I'm missing that accidentally got rerouted? Now I wake up to so many, I can't do it. But with text messages, Apple's got like the unknown sender, right? Like with texting that it can fall into. But even then, I still will click it and go through it because I'm like, well, I can't miss a text. If they've got my phone number, it actually might be important. Whereas with my email, I'm like, it's published all over. So now I'm to the point where I know I'm probably missing good emails, but I don't have the time to go through hundreds a day. With text messages, I'll get a couple, you know, a week from like random marketing things that I didn't sign up for that are illegally texting me, but I still read them and then I unsubscribe. But you know,
let's go to that concept that you just kind of threw out there
Yeah.
that they're illegally sending you. Explain that
Yeah.
a little bit.
So with text marketing, and a lot of businesses don't know this, and this is why I encourage people to do their own rather than relying on a third party. Because if your name is attached to it, you're responsible for it legally. And so texting has a couple different rules. So according to the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, if your business is going to text market people or text people anything marketing related, uh, someone has to have given you what's known as written consent. Well, opting in, like texting a trigger word or keyword to your phone number, is considered written consent. There are other ways, like online web forms that can be filled out, but they have to have the proper disclaimer saying, that someone is submitting their phone number, they're agreeing to receive messages, they have to know how many per month they're going to get if they're filling out a form, things like that. Disclaimers like standard text and data rates may apply have to be in there. Well, companies overseas will often buy a list of phone numbers. And since they're not, they can't be held accountable by laws here in America, because who's going to go over there and enforce them? You'll see a lot of spam texts. I get about 5 to 10 a week that'll say like, "Hey, funding available," and then it'll have some link to click in there. Obviously, I'm not signing up for some text funding from some random company, so I'll unsubscribe and I'll block those numbers. But that's becoming a common thing, and it was really common with those. They're called short codes, shared short code numbers. Those 6 and 7 digit phone numbers. That was a really common problem right around 2016 to 2019, which is why a lot of the major carriers have already publicly come out and said they're getting rid of servicing anything short code related. They were going to cut it off at the end of 2020, but then because of COVID and staff shortages, that's been delayed some. But it's still coming down the pipeline because those shared short codes open up doorways to a lot of illegal activity and a lot of problems for legitimate marketers because of it.
So why would it? I don't know. Maybe this is off topic, but I don't understand why they would have a problem with those, because those are generally somebody's inbound texting to it.
Yeah, so it's a great question. Here's why. Typically, short codes, when texting for marketing first came out, short codes were the way. And the thing is, the cost of setting up a text platform was so much higher. Back in 2013 or 2012, when I really went full force with text marketing, I looked at setting up my own platform and just integrating through Twilio and some other things. The cost of it was over 6 figures to get my own dedicated phone number from my own platform. So, like most people, I leased a shared short code from one of these other platforms out there. And so, what happens is these platforms, they provision a number, they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for, we'll just say like the number's 55555. Okay, because that's likely not someone's. And so what happens is 10 different companies share that short code. So, the text in words are limited because 5 people are competing, to do it all. But what happens is, let's say somebody texts your last name because that's your trigger word to join your list. Well, let's say I'm in some other country where we like to scam people. And I go, all right, I'm going to lease this platform too. And let's say I bought a list of phone numbers and I just start blasting people. Well, the problem with it is you can't do that with a regular phone number. When you go in and you provision it through Twilio, it's tied to your emergency address. It's tied to you specifically. But with these share short codes, nobody's really accountable as they should be. And the government's found it very hard to hold people properly accountable, which is why, foreign countries like to use them to spam. The problem for legitimate marketers, though, like you and I, is that let's say ABC porn site use that same short code. Well, you've got someone texting in for your real estate company, and now let's say one of your clients gets blasted from that phone number with porn spam or something else that's inappropriate.
Might not be too good.
Not at all. And when they replied, stop to opt out, the problem for you as a legitimate marketer is they've also just opted out of your campaign because you were sharing that same phone number. So there are a lot of problems. Those are just a couple of them, but that's why there's been this big transition, and especially with COVID stuff, business, the government closing businesses down, things like that. People have lost a lot of revenue, and smart companies are starting to look for ways to save money. And this year, I've been really on a mission to try and help people learn how to do it themselves.
It's great information. That Mat Koenig is with us. We're chatting about marketing, and it doesn't matter what you do. Hey, what if you wanted to set up your own marketing company, your text marketing company? Matt's going to give away a consultation. And maybe it's for you, maybe it's not for you, but I can tell you this much with 100% certainty. Education never hurts, right? So having a consultation with somebody that's done it, I talked to you about in the opening segment today, a lot about getting expert advice. If you missed that segment, you missed a lot. We've got the whole broadcast will be posted on ronsiegelradio.com in the radio archives. But we're going to talk to Matt, and he's got a offer for a free consultation. Maybe you want to set this up for your business. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, buyers want to know, why is housing still in short supply? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments, paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments, paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. Find out exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, exactly what the market believes about your property, and it is compliments of Ron Siegel Radio. I love giving stuff away. We have a good time giving stuff away on Ron Siegel Radio. So the real-time real estate segment, as I told you, brought to you by rsrhomedigest.com. Buyers want to know, why is housing supply still so low? That is their question. One key question that's top of mind for home buyers this year is, why is it so hard to find a house to buy? The truth is, we're in the ultimate seller's market, so real estate is ultra competitive for buyers right now. The number of buyers searching for a home greatly outweighs how many homes are available for sale. While low inventory in the housing market is not new, it's a challenge that continues to grow over time. Here's a look at 2 reasons why today's housing supply is low and what that means for you. Number 1, new home construction fell behind for several years. If you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, or if you've got any of our social channels available, you may be seeing a chart that shows new home construction for single-family homes over the past 5 decades, including the long-term average for housing units completed. Builders exceeded the average during the housing bubble. The result was an oversupply of homes on the market, so home values declined. That was one of the factors that led to the housing crash back in 2018. Since then, the level of new home construction has fallen off for the last 13 straight years. 13 years. Builders haven't been able to construct enough homes to meet the historical average. The underbuilding left us with a multi-year inventory deficit going into the pandemic. Number 2, the pandemic's impact on the housing market. When the pandemic hit, it fueled a renewed appreciation and focus on the meaning of home. Having a safe space to live, work, school, and exercise became even more important for Americans throughout the country. So as mortgage rates dropped to at or below 3%, buyers eagerly entered the market looking to capitalize on those low rates to secure a home that would fulfill their changing needs. At the same time, sellers hesitated to put their houses on the market as concerns about the pandemic mounted. The result? The number of homes available for sale dropped even further. A recent article from Realtor.com explains, quote, the last month, the number of home listings dropped to 26.8% compared with the same time a year earlier. This means there were about 177,000 fewer homes listed in what's already a typically slower month due to the holidays and colder weather. What does all this mean for you? For a buyer, low inventory can be a challenge. You want to find your dream home and you don't want to settle, but what if there just aren't that many homes to choose from? There is some good news. Experts are projecting more homes will soon become available thanks to sellers re-entering the market. Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, shares this hope, but offers perspective. We expect that we'll start to see a turnaround in inventory will stabilize and start to go up a little bit in 2022. But that means we're looking at inventory levels for roughly half of what we saw before the pandemic. For buyers, the market is likely to continue to move fast. If you see a home you like, you'll want to jump on it right away. Basically, inventory is still low, even though more homes are coming, but you shouldn't put your plans on hold because you're waiting for those additional houses to hit the market. Instead, stick with your search and persevere through today's low inventory. You can find your next home if you're patient and focused. Remember your goals and why finding a home is so important. Those things should be the driving force behind your search. Share them with your agent. Be clear about your priorities. Again, trusted advisors. Bottom line, if you're thinking about moving, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Continuing our conversation, Mat Koenig is with us, Rockstar Designs. Matt, you guys do a whole lot of different things. We talk, so much about your text marketing services, but you said website design, and what were the other things?
Yeah, so basically everything I do revolves around helping people communicate better with their clients. So text marketing, text lead generation, text conversation takes the forefront when it comes to our digital products. But we also help businesses do things like sales funnels, so landing pages, things like that to help them build their list of customers. For me, the biggest benefit for companies in 2022 is being able to build their own list so they can market directly to their customers. And so there's great opportunities. It has to start somewhere. Like advertising on your radio show is a great way for someone to start building a list. The challenge is most companies will come on and they'll advertise on Ron Siegel Radio and they'll say, hey, go to www.valuedriven.site. Like that's my website, right? But the challenge is if I just send them to my homepage, I send them there to start the whole process over. Well, a sales funnel, for example, I might say, go to valuedriven.site/tap, like for our texting action plan, right? For somebody to learn how to set up their own text marketing. If I land them there, then I can have them, fill out information, capture stuff, and get them on my list. So the same thing with texting. I always tell people the whole goal is twofold, right? Well, there's three things that we do with texting, right? We have conversation, community, and cash flow are the three focuses. But in order to build our businesses up, there's this old saying, the money's in the list, right? That's it. You've heard it. I've heard it. The money's in the list. So how do you build a list? Well, we build it via text, but we encourage businesses, don't just do it through one medium, right? Forever, it's always been, let's get them on our website. Let's get them to fill out a form. Let's build a list that way. And that was where sales funnels kind of became the big thing over the past, let's say 4 years. Well, what a lot of people are realizing is building a list for email is great, but at the end of the day, we want another avenue in. So that's why we also teach people how to do text marketing and things like that as well. But I'm also a coach, and most of my clients are men and executives. So I do life coaching, business coaching, and help them figure out strategies. As somebody who's bought and sold multiple businesses, I'm probably the most popular guy you've never heard of when it comes to doing things like that. But that's because a lot of my clients have worked with me behind the scenes, a lot of sponsors for our events, and have me coach them through, making big business decisions because I can remove the emotion since it's their money, not mine. So
let's take this global, Matt, because we're obviously on our social channels as we record live on Wednesdays, and anybody that's got any comments, you can put comments in there and we'll throw them at Matt. But if you're listening to us on Go Country Sunday morning, you may not have a business yet. So Matt, throw out just a few different concepts of how I can make, and I don't want to go crazy. I mean, because I know that you can make big money.
Oh, sure.
But if I want to make an extra $200 or $300, $400 a month, $500 a month, what are some of the things that I need to do to make that happen? And we're going to give a link to a consultation with Matt, but throw out some global ideas.
Yeah. So here's a good thing. I see a lot of people talking about online right now. They're looking for the word of the year has been side hustle, right? Like, I got to create a side hustle to bring in a few extra $100. Well, I see a lot of folks putting stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and people tend to get in a niche, right? Maybe they sell chicken eggs, right? They got a farm. I live in Tennessee, so that's kind of a thing, right? Maybe they sell raw honey. Right. So one thing somebody could do if they really want to build like a little bit of a side business, maybe something to cover the daycare bills or things like that, is they can look and go, okay, what's all the stuff that I typically put on Facebook Marketplace? Maybe I come into these, honey a lot, or maybe I sell used MacBooks or things like that. One way they could make some money is, instead of just relying on putting stuff on Marketplace when they have it, they could put in every one of their listings, I get these products all the time, to know when I get new things in, text deals to this phone number. Okay. Seems like a little thing, but that's one minor thing people could start doing to start building up an audience. I see people on, when my wife and I lived in Washington, I was doing product testing for Amazon sellers. All the time, I would get people reaching out going, hey, would you try our products on your live streams? And so I would get an abundance of these products. I'd try them, and then I just put them on Marketplace for sale. Well, I had the same 5 people almost buy every single product I had. And that gave me this idea to go, man, if I'm going to run something on Marketplace, why not put a things in? I get stuff like this all the time. Text Amazon to this number, and I'll let you know, when I have hot new items for sale. So that's one thing people can do, is they can literally just put a little deal to start building a list so they can start reaching their Marketplace audience buyers directly, instead of hoping they see their new post on Facebook. So that's one way somebody can make a few extra $100 every month, and they can start doing it right away, and they could literally get started for under $100.
So text deals to 8765309. Let's see how many people do that. We're going to see that one today.
You've been mentioning the real estate market, by the way, and I got to tell you, since you're out in California, we've got a double lot that we own behind our house that we just listed for sale. So if anybody wants to move to a land of freedom here in Tennessee, I've got a double lot, and I know the neighbors are great. So maybe you can help me move that after the show.
There you go. Visit rockstarexpo.com/Ron. Josh will put that up on the screen in a minute here. rockstarexpo.com/Ron. If you want a free consultation with Mat Koenig, I suggest it because, what if you just got enough money? Matt, you used a great line. I love that line. Just to cover the daycare bills, right? Maybe then you grow it to where mom or dad can stay home and raise Johnny or Sally.
Yeah. Well, what you just said right there, though, is the biggest thing that I've run into in the last 6 months. I can't tell you, every week, minimum of 3 conversations with people that are making a good living that are saying, and I quote, I don't know why it always starts with this, dude, I've got to make a change. It's like, dude, I've got to find a different job. Dude, I've got to get a different career. And the first thing I say to them is, hey, what do you love doing? Like, what do you love doing? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, if you don't start doing something you love, you're always going to work for somebody else. And then you're going to call me in 6 months and go, dude, I got to make a change again. But when I talk to people, the majority of people that reach out to me, they are salespeople, entrepreneurs, business professionals, the majority of. But lately, I've been getting conversations from just everyday folks, blue collar friends, that haven't lived in the sales, and they're like, I want to start something of my own, but I'm not a good salesperson. And that's what I love about what I get to do now. Is, you mentioned it earlier, marketers do well, and marketing is selling, but people don't understand that you don't have to be a good salesperson like Kurt Russell in the movie Used Cars. Selling's about serving people. So anybody out there that's got a passion, it's like all you've got to do is learn how to whatever your passion is, man. If you're a weirdo who likes whatever cat memes, there are enough other weirdos that love the same stuff as you. You've just got to learn how to build that list of weirdos so you can connect with them directly. So even
Hey,
if
and
you
I'm the biggest weirdo, but just remember, nothing changes till you do. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your home and real estate. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk 4 reasons you should be pre-approved for an equity buyout in a divorce. 4 reasons you should be pre-approved for an equity buyout in a divorce. We're going to continue our conversation with Mat Koenig. We're going to talk more about, hey, making just a few extra bucks. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Better Outcomes segment today being brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. 4 reasons you should be pre-approved for an equity buyout in a divorce. Obtaining mortgage pre-approval to purchase a new home has been common practice for many years. A pre-approval shows the home seller that the buyer has the financial strength to obtain mortgage financing to successfully complete the purchase transaction. The mortgage purchase pre-approval is one of the first steps required for home buyers, and it should be one of the first steps for a divorcing spouse before agreeing to refinance the marital home. Equity buyout pre-approval should also be required by the spouse retaining the marital home if new mortgage financing is required. A refinance due to a divorce is required to remove the vacating spouse from the current mortgage or when the in-spouse needs to buy the equity ownership from the out-spouse in cash form. Number 1, an equity buyout pre-approval allows the certified divorce lending professional the ability to account for all income requirements, joint and individual debt, and assets needed to successfully provide mortgage finance. An equity buyout pre-approval can eliminate the fear of selling the home should mortgage financing not be obtainable by the in-spouse if ordered in the divorce settlement agreement. Number 3, an equity buyout pre-approval can prevent the need to return to litigation due to the inability to fulfill the requirements of the divorce settlement agreement. Number 4, an equity buyout pre-approval will provide all parties with a sense of confidence that there will be no issues obtaining mortgage financing once the divorce is final and alleviate any concerns of failure to execute. What's the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval? A pre-qualification generally means that a mortgage professional collects some basic financing information from the borrower to estimate how much of a mortgage they can afford. A pre-approval takes it one step further by verifying the financial information you submit to get a more accurate amount. This means that an equity buyout pre-approval is a stronger sign of what the borrowing spouse can afford and adds more credibility to the lending strength of the borrower. The CDLP brings tremendous value to the divorce team during the settlement process because their stronger perspective of the entire divorce process. Their understanding of the intersection of family law, tax law, real estate, and mortgage financing truly separates them from other mortgage professionals in the industry. A successful divorce settlement is a result of putting the pieces of the puzzle together in such a manner that both divorcing spouses come out of the divorce whole. Each member of the professional divorce team should bring value and perspective that benefits the overall outcome and success. Working with a certified divorce lending professional, CDLP, and incorporating divorce mortgage planning into the divorce settlement may help both spouses obtain new mortgage financing post-divorce. Contact a CDLP today for a copy of the Divorcing Your Mortgage Homeowner Workbook. That's mydymworkbook.com, mydymworkbook.com, a guide to credit, real estate, and mortgage financing after divorce. This workbook will help you get organized, be prepared, and understand your mortgage financing position, whether you're needing to refinance the marital home in an equity buyout situation or prepare to sell and purchase a new home post-divorce. As a divorce mortgage planner, the CDLP can help divorcing homeowners make a more informed decision regarding their home equity solutions while helping the professional divorce team identify any potential conflicts between the divorce settlement, home equity solutions, as well as real property issues. Divorce mortgage planning is a holistic approach to the process of evaluating mortgage options in the context of the overall financial objectives as they relate to divorcing situations. Working directly with the divorce team, a CDLP understands the intersection of divorce tax, real estate, and mortgage financing. The role of the CDLP is to help integrate the mortgage selection into the overall long and short-term financial and investment goals to help minimize taxes, minimize interest expense, and maximize cash flow. Involving a certified divorce lending professional early in the divorce settlement process can help the divorcing homeowners set the stage for successful mortgage financing. That is the Better Outcomes segment brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. Hey, we're continuing our conversation this morning. Mat Koenig is with us. We are chatting about making a little money.
I like it.
Now, what if you want to make a lot of money? Well, you have to start out somewhere. You know, it's kind of funny when you think about it. Who's arguably like one of the top 2 or 3 richest people in America? Would anybody say that Jeff Bezos is, maybe one of the top 5?
Yeah.
Right.
Elon
Probably.
Musk just beat him, right? Elon became the richest guy now.
Right. Yeah, they battle each other depending upon their stock price on a given day. But here's the issue. How many years did Amazon lose money?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm not saying you need to get started in a business to lose money, but you don't have to start out looking for the grand slam. How about start out looking for a single? Right? If you make an extra $500 a month, $6,000 a year, for some people, that's life-changing. Grow it, over time. The harder you work, the more money you make. Labor under correct knowledge.
Oof,
You ever heard of that one?
mm-hmm.
That's luck. Labor under correct knowledge. Harder you work, the luckier you get. Now, you're lucky this morning because, in my opinion, and I can't give anybody else's opinion, I can only give mine, right? We've got Mat Koenig is with us sharing his time, and he's actually even given us the ability of sharing even more of his time, right? Go to rockstarexpo.com/Ron. And if you don't get this, if you're in the car on the radio, look in the show notes, ronsiegelradio.com. We'll have it in the show notes for you as well. rockstarexpo.com/Ron. Have a conversation, right? Figure out what you're passionate about. Now, I'm going to tell you something that almost all of us can get behind and have. Everyone has a different set of passions, but there's one that I can almost guess that many people will share. How about helping others?
Yes.
Now, if you help others, number one, our world would be a better place.
True.
I'm just throwing that out there. We would have a much better world if everybody's out there looking to see how they can help others. I asked Matt this question in the last segment. How do you know what people want? There's an easy way. Ask them. Right? If you ask somebody, hey, what do you like? And Matt made a comment earlier, and I've shared this in our counseling. Whatever business you're contemplating, figure out what you like. Right? I have a son that loves golfing. I said, build a business around golfing. Right? I have a brother-in-law that loves skiing. He built a big business around skiing. I like to eat. I built a business around restaurants. Right? What do you like? Figure it out. And then find a way to monetize it. How do you monetize it? Help others who like the same things. Matt, you made a comment before about weird people that like weird cats.
Yeah.
And it's not facetious about weird people. It's just, I'm not a cat person. I would not be the right person to start a group about cats.
No.
Right? I had somebody on the other day that talked about cross-country running. I can't even drive cross-country. Right? I would not be the right person. But you know something? Go to concerts. I like that.
Yeah, well, if you go on Google, and you just search for something you're interested in, you're going to be surprised at how many websites you see related to those topics, right? So the reality is there are other people that have already done business in probably your idea. My buddy Jason and I used to joke about this when we were kids, and I won't talk about what years this was, but it was decades and decades ago. We loved skateboarding, man. That was our jam. We were skaters, die hard, right? Skate or die, search for Animal Chin. Like, these are the days where it was illegal to skateboard and you'd run from the police. Statute of limitations, you guys can't get me now. But so in the winter in Michigan, you can't skateboard, right? And we were poor kids, so it's not like we had access to big indoor skate parks. So we literally in the winter would remove the trucks and wheels from our skateboards, and we would duct tape the boards to our feet. And then we would go down a hill and we would snowboard before snowboarding was big, right? And we were like, oh, this is so cool, da 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 da. And we just thought it was the neatest thing. You know what we didn't do? Think of the idea to freaking create snowboards. Not even 3 years later, snowboarding becomes a thing. And now mind you, we were kids, right? But we were sitting there going, man, we should have invented that. If you ask anybody who is more than 20, they can probably think of a time in their life where they were like, man, I had this idea that I thought was dumb, and now I'm seeing it for sale everywhere. That's how sites like Etsy became popular. So when I say there's another weirdo out there like you, I'm not being denigrating. I'm not trying to, tear someone down. I'm saying, listen, you might think your idea is dumb, but the quickest way to find out if it is to Google it. And you'll see, oh man, is there an audience for this? And there's two things. One, if there's nothing coming up, you may have a great idea, or it may just be such a horrible idea that no one else wanted to do it either. But if you Google something, you see things similar, you look for opportunities. Like Bill Gates, he didn't create PC computing. Heck, he helped out with some stuff with Apple and stole their ideas for point and click when he went with them to Xerox to see the mouse. And at a show where they were unveiling the Macintosh and the ability to point and click, Bill Gates shows up with Windows 3.1 out of the blue, and Apple had no idea he was doing it. So some of the wealthiest and most intelligent business ideas come from looking at something going, you know what, I could make this a little bit better. And I think a lot of folks out there are saying, gosh, I got to make a change. But the biggest thing that stands in the way is fear of failure. And if you don't try, you've already failed.
Absolutely. Go to rockstarexpo.com/Ron. Have a consultation with Matt. See if there's something that makes sense for you. And maybe you'll find that, like my friend Brian Smith, who created Uggs, Ugg boots.
So
right, because his feet were cold after he finished skiing or surfing. I think it was surfing. Think about that concept. Again, rockstarexpo.com/Ron. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Pour me something tall and strong. Make it a hurry.